I'm Mel,
And I'm Janelle.
and this is the Murder Mamas. Welcome.
Welcome.
Okay,
Willkommen.
welcome in. So today we're going to be talking about Love Has Won.
Mother God.
Mother God. Crazy documentary. It's on HBO, right?
Yeah, it's on HBO Max.
HBO Max, if you guys want to watch it. It's crazy. Crazy pictures, crazy videos. Like they video and live streamed themselves. So there's a shit ton of footage.
Everything.
Everything. They just live streamed themselves the whole entire time.
Yeah.
So that's why we have so much footage. It's insane.
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 So let's talk about Mother God. Amy. Okay, so let's talk about Amy Carlson. She is known as Mother God. And Mother.
Mother.
And they all talk about her, like, even after she died, there's just constantly, like, it just flows off their tongue, like, mother this and mother that, like, not her name. Like,
don't you think, okay. Well, you already said she died, so.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
Spoiler
alert.
Don't you feel, I feel like once I was away from it, I would be like, like, she's dead now. And I'd be like, that was fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. But they're all still doing their thing after she died.
Nothing she said would happen happened.
Nope.
Which really felt a lot like Heaven's Gate to me.
Yes.
When they talk so much about what would happen when someone dies, and then the first, like the original founder, I can't remember what they called her right now, but she died of cancer.
Yeah.
And like none of the things they said would happen happened. And nobody was like, huh,
yeah,
that's weird. And that lack of like logic is so foreign to me.
Right.
And I felt like the people, I don't know, like the one lady was a fucking lawyer.
Yeah. All right. So
anyway, sorry.
Amy, let's start off with her.
No, I mean, talking about the documentary.
Yeah.
It's a wild ride.
It's
like the first 2 minutes you see a mummified body.
Right.
You're like,
which was horrific. I was like, what the fuck
just
is
the
that?
eyes.
Yes. Just
from the sleeping bag. I was like,
a sleeping bag that was covered in like lights, Christmas lights.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck
is happening?
Am I looking at?
Yeah. So the documentary starts off by police are raiding a home because Amy Carlson has passed away, and the people that her followers had her body for more than 2 weeks, and they were traveling around the country with it. And finally, they got to a point where they got caught, and that's it.
And then it just sort of starts the whole story from the beginning.
Starts from the beginning. So Amy is a lady.
Is she a lady?
She's a lady.
She's also a mother.
She's a mother.
And God.
Huh?
And God.
And God. Yeah.
She's a mother God.
She worked at McDonald's, like, to begin with, starting a manager position. And then she had a couple kids. And then she decided...
Amy grew up poor.
Yeah.
I think that's important to mention.
Yeah.
Her mom on the documentary talks about how when they were little, she had a lot of, like, hot dogs and mac and cheese.
Yeah.
And there was not a lot of money.
Isn't that what all kids eat, though? Hot dogs and mac and cheese?
She said that, and I was like...
we still eat that sometimes.
Oh, weird. I didn't realize that was the tax bracket I was in. Okay.
Brings you back down.
Yeah, I was like, I thought I had climbed out of that one. But apparently, my taste buds have not. So,
I'm pretty sure that's just like a standard meal for kids. Like, no matter what tax bracket you're in.
Yeah.
But anyway.
So
She started off poor.
Yeah, so she started off poor. They lived in Texas, Dallas, I think.
Yeah.
And then she got pregnant very young, and she had a baby. And she, the dad, it was like from a one-night stand, basically. Yeah. And so never knew the father. It was never part of the picture. And then she started working at McDonald's, and she worked her way up, and she was like a general manager of like her location.
Yeah, like high up at McDonald's.
She had a really good speaking voice in the beginning. Like when they were making all of those videos. Yeah. I was like, she sounds like she could be like a voice actor who does like Alexa. Yeah. Or Siri. Like that was like the cadence and sound of her voice. So she's at the McDonald's, and then she has another pretty bad relationship where she ends up with another baby. Yep. And then she continues at McDonald's for a while, and then she starts going on a spiritual journey. Yeah. Which leads her online.
Which, leads her to the online.
Yeah. And it was like light workers, right? Yeah. And that's where she sort of met the first person that led her into becoming Mother God.
Mother God.
And his name is...
Amrith?
Yeah. Amrith. And he was so old. That was like the biggest thing I took from it. I'm like...
She was like 25 or something, right?
I don't know. It was 2007, I thought.
Yeah. I think she was still young, like pretty young.
She was fairly young. Yeah. Like early 30s, I think.
Okay.
Maybe. I'm trying to think about how long ago 2007 was.
I don't know. But younger than you would think to be with the man that was...
He was very old.
This guy, yeah. Very old.
Very old.
But this guy was like hippie...
But not dangerous.
Not dangerous. He was just like, I want to live off the grid, man, and like smoke my weed, and like I get that. Like,
but I sort of feel like he like planted a lot of seeds for what Amy turned Mother God into.
Probably.
So Amy leaves her entire life. She's like,
they were at like her birthday party or something.
Yeah, at a birthday party, and she just like
she gets up and leaves.
Gets up and left.
And then they never see. Her kids are there. Her mom's there. Her sister's there. Yeah. And she just leaves and never comes back.
That's wild.
Like, where did she go?
Well, we know.
Well, I know, but like, I'm just saying, like,
don't you think, like, that's like a missing person. Like, you file a missing persons case. And really, she's just living with Amrith.
Amrith, yeah. Living life.
So she goes to live with him, and they live in Colorado together. Yeah. And, you know, they like drink or I think they smoke a lot of weed. And they do psychedelics and stuff.
Yeah, they do psychedelics. But, which reminds me, that's the thing. She took ecstasy for the first time.
Oh, yeah. That's what started her on her spiritual journey.
Yeah.
Is her taking ecstasy.
Which they said it was a psychedelic, and ecstasy is not a psychedelic drug. It is not.
I think it could be.
You think?
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just weird because she said when she did ecstasy, she said that she thought when she wasn't on ecstasy that the people were taking away what it was supposed to feel like. So like when she was on ecstasy is when she felt like great and loving and, you know, perfect, but she thought that that's how she should be able to feel when she was off ecstasy as well. So she was like, they stole that from me. Like, is this what it's supposed to be like? Like, that's how she started with her spiritual journey. Like, oh my gosh, this is what, like, my life is I'm supposed to live it like this. It feels like this. It feels good like this. And then, so it was like, no, that's the drug talking. That's not what normally happens with people. Like, people don't live on that level. You take drugs to be on that level. Is what I'm trying to say, I guess.
I got you.
Yeah. So she started ecstasy, and that made her journey into spirituality.
Spirituality. So her and Amrith, they lived together for a while.
Yeah, they were together for a while.
And she's videoing even then.
Yeah.
She's videoing about, like, I thought it was so silly. Like, oh, there's so many UFOs in the sky today, and the spaceships in the sky. It's just clouds.
It's just clouds.
It's always clouds. I'm like...
And then deeper on into the documentary, she'd be like, doesn't that cloud look like me? Do you remember that? And they were like, oh, yeah. Like, totally. Like, she was, like, thinking that the clouds... I'm like, what? It's just a cloud. It doesn't look like you. It doesn't even look like a person.
I know.
It doesn't even look like an animal. Like, sometimes they look like animals. It's like, no. So, anyway. So then we get to... How did they break up? Did he just...
So I think she sort of... So I remember him saying, like, I sort of feel like God is everybody.
Yes.
And she felt like she was the only God.
Yeah.
And so they kind of just sort of, it seemed drifted apart.
Yeah.
But I wasn't clear if he, like, moved with her to the second place with the second father and then left from there. It was not very clear.
Yeah, it wasn't very clear.
And I didn't, spend a ton of time.
And he wasn't I don't think he was very cultish. He just...
No, again, he was just like a dude who's
like wants to be high and live
smelled like weed and patchouli oil.
Right. Like he was harmless. Like just some dude that just wants to live in the woods.
Completely unrelated. But we were at Cracker Barrel for breakfast this morning after soccer. Yeah. And Blake smelled a candle that was cedar and patchouli. And he goes, "This smells like BO, Mom." And I was like, yeah.
It does.
It does.
Patchouli's not a good smell.
You're right. It totally smells like BO. It's just really funny.
Just like probably what they smell.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
So then, who's the next father god that comes in? I forget.
Isn't it... It's the normal dude. Like,
the one that,
He said that, like, he wasn't really attracted to her, but felt like that was just, like, a hurdle he had to get over.
Right.
His name...
Why is he not...
Chris?
Yeah, I think so. He was the social media guy, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So he was getting unemployment,
he was getting
$700 a week.
$700 a week unemployment. I don't know why it's
Dan?
I don't know. Shit.
Oh, actually, so I'm looking at Wikipedia, and it says that Amareth left Carlson for another light worker he recruited from New York around 2014.
Oh, okay.
7 years they spent together.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
And then it says Carlson gained her first follower, Miguel Lamboy, the same year. Miguel would serve as the manager of the group's logistics and finances.
Okay.
And that's sort of when it started to grow.
And that's something to keep in mind. He put all of the accounts in his name and handled all the money. So everything that had to do with money, writing checks, doing payments for things, collecting money, that was all in his name and his name only.
Don't you think it would be in, like, the business's name?
Well, you would think. But...
And he would be, like, an officer of the business.
Right, but I don't think these people are business-minded.
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, and, like, if you're Mother God, you assume that everyone's just, not going to act in malice.
Yeah.
I don't know why I can't think of his name. I want to say it was Chris or Dan. I'm not entirely sure. But he seemed to also not be, like, a huge cultish kind of guy.
No.
But he was recalling how, like, money was really tight in the beginning.
He was smart. Like, yes. He was the smart one. He put together the whole company. Like, he made a company.
Well, he told them, like, your website sucks.
Right. The name was really long.
Way too long. Like, and so they come up with...
Love has won.
Love has won.
Yeah.
Couldn't think of it. And
then he said, we need to do a website. We need to market this. We need to put it on Facebook. Like, we need to put it on YouTube. Like, he got it all ready for him.
He did. But then he also said that he would sometimes talk with Amy and be like, like, you're not really God.
Right.
Like, and she would be like, oh no, like, I don't think so. And then Amy would go to Miguel,
Mm-hmm.
and Miguel would be like, yes, you are.
Yes, you're God.
You're God. And, like, rope her back in.
Yep.
So there was, like, this push and pull sort of for a while.
For a while, yeah. And then we get to meet, like, a bunch of people, right? They start
all the followers start coming in.
Like, it's all videotaped. She's videotaping everything.
She's recording them showing up.
Yeah.
To, like this people giant 5,000 square foot house.
Yeah. Which like...
probably smelled so fucking bad.
Yeah.
That's all I can think about is, like, how bad it must have smelled.
It probably did smell bad. Yeah. So they're all coming in, and we meet... is this where we meet everyone? I don't know.
We just meet everyone. I don't know the exact order that we're meeting people. But
so we meet a girl named Hope.
The gang's all here.
Yeah. We meet a girl named Aurora, Faith, and Elmora, and Mother Mary, and Aaron. So these are just, like, the main characters that we meet right now.
Right now.
And so they're all, like... Erin brings her 3 kids and a dog with her and moves into the house. And so they're all like, money's really tight. We need to think of something.
No, because prior to that, though, she starts doing, like, spiritual readings online. And then the money sort of starts coming in.
So she starts with doing spiritual readings.
And that's why Miguel doesn't want her to stop.
Yes.
Because they're making money from spiritual... And Miguel's also doing spiritual readings.
Right. And everything's in his name.
Mm-hmm.
So they're doing spiritual readings. And then she was saying, like, she called it brain surgery. That she was doing brain surgery. That not actual surgery, but just, like, over online, like, over chat or something. She would heal their brain, you know, from whatever that they were, like, cancer or whatever they had. So she's just fucking preying on all these people. And they're giving her money and they're giving her donations. And then they start thinking, oh, we need to put together, like, a gift box and we can sell that. So they put crystals in it and they put notes from Mother in it. And they have candles and they have soaps and they put them all in the box. And then they have silver that they're making. Colloidal silver that they're making and putting and selling to people as well. It is insane. But they start making money. They have shirts and sweatshirts and just all this crap.
Yeah.
And they do it all themselves. I mean, they're hustling, doing all the work.
Yeah.
No?
I guess.
I mean, they are.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they're selling things that are just not real, that don't make any...
The question I always have with these cults is, like, do they believe it's real? Or do they know it's not real?
I think she knew it wasn't real.
And, you know, I agree with you. And the reason I agree with you is because when she's closer to death, she calls her Earth family to have them come visit her. And she tells her followers, like, I don't think I'm God.
Right.
So she never...
No, she never. This is
really
just for the money.
Thought she was God.
Yeah. So the money starts rolling in.
Yeah.
And then she's just buying things from Amazon, buying more dresses, buying more crystals, buying...
Headpieces. I also liked that she spent a lot of time wearing a necklace around her head. Did you
I know. I was like, that would be so fucking annoying.
The dankle right there.
Her third eye, whatever. I'm like, that would be so annoying. I could see that. I would be like, oh no.
My sensory issues
absolutely
could never.
Not. No. I thought of that too, and I was like, there is no fucking way I could do that. Just normal wearing it. She's wearing it all day.
No.
Yeah, no.
No.
Yeah. So, what was I saying before that?
I don't fucking know. Their money?
Yeah, so they were making money off of subscription boxes and healings and daily rituals that they would go online.
Basically a bunch of bullshit.
All bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so they move a lot. They get kicked out of places. Like, they moved from from Colorado to Oregon.
California.
To California, to Hawaii, back to Colorado. So one of the houses that they stayed in Oregon was Erin, the lady that brought her kids and her dog, said that she was called to sage the new place out, and she lit the whole thing on fire. Like, it went up in flame. Like, acres were on fire. It wasn't just the house. Like, the fire spread to like acreage. They were out in the middle of nowhere, so it was just trees and acreage. And they're on a boat and they're just leaving and they're like videotaping it and they're like, bye, bye, we gotta go. And I'm like, did anybody call the cops? Like, did anyone call the fire department and say,
Zero
hi,
sense.
our house is on fire?
Yeah.
Like,
no sense of urgency.
no, none.
But you just reminded me, there was a little scene where I think it was the reporter first encountered them because they were smoking joints or blunts or something.
Yeah.
Outside, like in a park or something, where there was like a level 3 drought.
Oh, yeah.
And they were like, are you smoking out here? Like, very...
Yeah.
And they were like, no, we just put it out. And that's, I think the reporters, like, that's how she sort of started, like, following them.
Yeah. Because she was like, I'm half hippie, half redneck. When she said that, I was like, that's awesome. So they burned down that house and then they go back, I think, to California.
You're skipping way ahead, I feel like.
Okay.
You're, like, at the end already.
I guess I am.
Yeah.
Okay, so what?
Talk about the eclipse that's coming up. Talk about the
Dude,
Father
I forgot.
God.
Yeah.
And then there was the second one who came in, who was from the Navy or the military, the Marine Corps.
Oh, yeah, yes.
And when you said, did you get to Ponytail Guy yet? I thought you were talking about him. And I was like, this dude seems fucking normal. Like, I mean, normal enough.
Enough. Yeah. No, he was pretty normal, but they didn't last very long.
Well, he said that he felt like there was another father, remember?
Right, yes.
Yeah.
And that was...
And that's when she found...
Jason. Yeah. And he is...
something.
Got an ankle monitor on and no shirt and doing this interview, smoking a shit ton of weed, drinking throughout it. Like, this guy gives zero fucks.
Such an interesting character.
I just don't understand how there can only be one mother god, but there can be many, many, many father gods.
Hey.
That seems weird to me.
Fuck the patriarchy.
I guess. So this Jason guy has got a long criminal record, extensive.
Like, a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff.
Wasn't one of them, like, child abuse?
I think it was, they said child abuse, but I think the reporter said it was more like child neglect. Like, he just didn't do it, like, it wasn't actual physical abuse or anything. But yeah.
I was like, there's kids here.
Yeah, there's kids involved. And he's a total meth head. Like, totally. Because he'd go off on tangents and go off and do meth for, like, a couple days and then come back.
Is that what they said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, he was just, like, high as fuck the whole time. But she did say... So, anyway, I was talking about the money coming in. This is how my brain works.
All right. I don't care. I'm here for it.
She was, once money started coming in, she was going on Amazon and shopping, and then she would buy, would she buy the 4-wheeler or something to go drive around in? She bought herself a pool so that she could just sit there and, like, be swimming by herself, like a big inflatable pool.
Nice.
Like, she just went and bought, like, all these things, and I'm like, that just doesn't seem like what Mother God should be doing.
What would Mother do?
Be mothering to other people.
Well, I mean...
Not riding on a 4-wheeler.
Mother Church. Has a lot of things they like.
That's true. So anyway, I just thought that was... I was like, when I saw all the purchases that she made, I'm like, okay. But none of her followers can make any of those purchases. Only she can.
Yeah.
So, like, she's the one spending all the money, but, like, everybody else is, like, starving themselves. Oh, and that was another thing that was weird. They wrote everything down in the journal. Everything. What she said, what she ate, how much she weighed at the time. Like, everything was written down. And there were just stacks and stacks of journals. And just full of pages, just like, Mother did this, and then Mother got up to go over here.
Like, the obsession is something I don't understand fully.
I don't understand
But also,
either.
like, I don't ever want anyone to pay that much attention to what I'm doing.
No, absolutely not. I would hate that. And that was the thing, there was
I really felt like of all the people Mother Mary was like
Yeah.
the most unproblematic.
Right, of course. But we meet Faith. She was the one that was like, I just really want to be with Mother God and I'll do anything. And so she learned that like by cleaning,
Oh yeah, that was
she
her.
would, she would be closer to Amy or Mother God because she was helping her. And then Mother God would be like, oh, see, she's cleaning and doing this for me. Isn't that great? You know, and like,
Oh yeah, when they had people over.
yeah.
And she was like, she noticed what I was doing.
Yeah. And I was, what the hell?
She also said that she cleaned the house from top to bottom
And
every day.
Filthy.
And I was like, you shouldn't have to clean a house from top to bottom
every day.
Every day.
I don't think that. And then when you walk through their houses, they're all like full of crap. Like it looks like a hoarder's house. Christmas lights everywhere, rainbows, unicorns, flowers, just like everything everywhere. It looks like an explosion of like Hello Kitty and all that crap together.
As they were walking through the house, I was like, this smells like a frat house I've been.
Yeah.
Like, I know that smell.
Mm-hmm.
Like, stale bong water and stale beer.
Yeah.
And probably vomit a little bit.
Probably. Yeah. Well, they did say she gets fucked up, like, every night. She would drink herself to oblivion. And then, I liked how they said, or one time is when she was like, Mother God would lay down and she would have to be in meetings, spiritual meetings. But she was sleeping. And they're like, she's not actually sleeping. She's doing meetings.
Well,
like,
that's
no,
also what they said.
She's sleeping, dear.
That's also, like, the excuse they made about her being her substance abuse. Like, her being an alcoholic.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, she's doing it because of all the pain that humanity has put her through.
Right.
Because she's feeling the pain of all the 8 billion people in the world.
Right.
I'm like, no, she just probably likes getting fucked up.
No, like, that's why she left her kids. And
I don't think so, though, because the drinking started a lot later.
Yeah, that's true. But I was saying she still left her kids. Like, that's insane to me.
We're backtracking again?
Yes, sorry.
I was like,
I'm all over the place.
Where are you going with that?
My brain. All they should have said was, this is your brain on drugs. Do you remember that commercial from when
the eggs?
The eggs?
Yeah.
Like, that's all they had to do with this for that one guy, Jason. Like,
really
insane.
Crazy.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So.
But they also seem like, I mean, I know that we're saying a lot of mean things about them, but it seemed fairly supportive. Mm-hmm. Like, everyone seemed to care about each other.
Yeah,
like, it didn't seem like there was conflict or any of that. But it's like, were they all just too fucked up?
Well, they did say that she kept them high from when they came up to when they went to bed. And they were probably shrooming like 3 days out of the week. Like,
okay. So they were just
I think they were just fucked up all the time. And we see Hope and Aurora a lot in the...
A lot. They were the big shills of the stuff.
And Hope is very intense.
Super intense.
And she starts off looking great. Like, she looked great.
She's a very pretty lady.
Very pretty. And the final episode, like, when they were going through, like, after she had passed and they were saying, like, oh, where are they now? You look at her and she looked like she weighed 80 pounds. Like, she just withered away.
Yeah.
And so she's on there a lot, and then Aurora's on there a lot.
They did most of the live streams and the selling.
Yeah. And they didn't travel with Mother a lot of the time.
They stayed
because they needed to send out the boxes and send out the shirts and all that stuff. Run the business, I guess. Because she was like, we can't all be on the... Aurora says we can't all be on the move. Like, we had to stay and, like, do our business to make money. So... not all of them went wherever Mother God went. Some of them stayed behind.
Yeah.
As they were traveling.
So...
they all ended up back together, but...
I did say things were, like, good, but I don't think they were good.
No.
Because after Jason got there, like, the drinking really ramped up.
Oh, yeah.
The using really ramped up.
Yeah.
And so Mother God started getting really, really sick. Mm-hmm. She was getting really thin.
Mm-hmm. She was turning blue.
Well, yeah, so she started to change color.
That was like, holy shit, yeah, she is blue.
Which is a side effect of like a lot of ingestion of colloidal silver, which I'll get there in just one second.
Yeah.
But she started getting really sick and having all these symptoms. She's like vomiting all the time. She's obviously having liver damage.
Well, yeah, she was all of her organs were failing
so much.
Yeah.
And not eating.
Right.
So Jason's having to like carry her through the house. And they're basically like, okay, Mother God's probably going to die. And they're sort of waiting for her to die and like for ascension to happen.
They're waiting for the Galactics to come.
Oh, we haven't even talked about the fucking Galactics. I totally forgot about the Galactics. We'll get there. We'll talk about the Galactics. But they're like, they keep saying like, they're waiting for ascension, so they're like staring at all the clouds and saying how many ships are around.
They have
and like ascension's gonna come, but it's not happening. And I'm thinking, this is a human being,
right,
who is suffering,
right,
and nobody gives a shit.
Well, I think they did, but they said that she said no hospitals.
Yeah, she did say she would never want to be in a 3D
hospital. Yeah.
Because doctors in this dimension would not understand her condition.
Right. They might.
They might not understand the mental condition, but I think they could take some labs and get a pretty solid idea of your liver function.
Right.
Like... And she's withering away, so she's anorexic because the weight for ascension was 101 to 103 pounds. So they're logging how much she's weighing constantly to make sure that she weighs the right amount for ascension.
Yeah. Spoiler, it never comes.
Well, so that's why they have a mummy. So the other way that ascension can happen is there can be like a hole in the ocean that opens up that Jason says, which is why they need to go to Hawaii.
Yeah.
Because the hole in the ocean's going to have to open for her. And he tries to frame it like, I would do anything for Mother.
Sure.
And like, I have to get her where she needs to go. Well, like, don't act like you're not selfish.
Right.
Like...
You have to go to Hawaii.
Yeah, like there's not an ocean over here. It must be Hawaii.
Right.
So Mother God doesn't want to go. And I think Aurora calls her a quote unquote stubborn noodle on a live stream. And I remember that because I was like, what an interesting thing to say about someone.
You're a stubborn noodle.
So they finally convince her to go to Hawaii. And I'm like, imagine being on a plane with those people.
Oh,
that's the first thought I had.
Oh my God.
Could you imagine?
No.
Being on a plane with those people.
And the way she looked was fucking scary. Like she smelled like...
Think how they smelled.
Yeah. And she looked scary. Like I would be like, that is a fucking alien. Like she looked like an alien.
So... They get to Hawaii, and this is how episode 2 sort of ends, is they land in Hawaii, and then you hear, it's like a Hawaiian news broadcast from Kauai, where they are protesting, and Hawaiians are yelling, you Haole bitch, like, you are not God.
Right.
So you find out that Mother God has gone to Hawaii and is saying that she is... their god Pele? I don't know. I don't want to fuck it up. One of those two. Pele.
I don't know.
She's one of those.
Yeah.
She's that. And they
got
so pissed. They're throwing eggs. They're throwing rocks.
They're shouting chants.
Fully protesting. Like multi-day protest of this person.
A lot of people too.
A lot of people.
Yeah.
Which... I really respect. Like, this is our fucking island and our culture, and get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Yeah.
Like,
They just told him what's up.
Yeah.
Like, why can't other people just stop it? Stop doing whatever you're doing. Slap him across the face and fucking get him. Like,
shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.
Well, Kauai is such a beautiful island.
I know.
Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Don't ruin our island. So I think the mayor has to step in and is basically like, y'all gotta get the fuck out. Like, I don't care where you go, but you can't stay here.
Stay here. And that's when they end up back in Colorado.
Yeah, so they're only in Hawaii from August of 2020, and it's like peak COVID.
Yeah.
Too. Like,
they were walking around with masks on. You could see them like protesting.
I just forgot something. QAnon started because like a lot of this is happening during COVID.
Yeah.
So there's QAnon and like Donald Trump election and all of that.
They are Trumpers,
and I know that
supporters.
HOP is like, yeah, they're saying Q like it's something else, but really what they mean is Queen, and that's Mother God. And I was like, oh my fucking God. Oh my fucking God.
Yep.
So they're in Hawaii from August of 2020 to September of 2020.
Yeah.
I was going to say January of 2020.
No.
Why am I still saying that? So a month.
A month, yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they move back to Colorado because they have nowhere to go now. And once they get back into Colorado, what's the finance guy's name? Miguel. They go to Miguel's house or one of his houses and they crash there. And he finds out that Mother God has passed away, or she passes away in between. Like,
you're missing a few steps. They're like they go to like an RV park.
Oh yeah, they
California,
camp out for a
Mount
little
Shasta.
while.
They're camping.
They camp in.
Oh, there was a point in this too. The last episode, where they camped for weeks on end, and this Aurora girl is like, "I'm from Miami, like a high-rise condos in Miami. Like, what the fuck is camping?"
I've never camped. Yeah,
and weeks of camping.
Yeah, I think 6 weeks. Yeah.
Okay.
And so then
they like get kicked out of that RV park and then all of that. And that's in April of 2021. Mm-hmm. And that's the last time anyone outside of the group sees Mother God.
Right. Alive. Yeah.
Which is like, she sort of lasted a long time.
She did last a long time. I was like looking, I'm like, damn, days are going by. Like, she held on. Which is weird because they kept saying, like, we want you to ascend. You know, like, they were, like, trying to make her die. Ascend. Like, she's holding on. She does not want to go.
I just can't imagine if she, like, had died of something. Like, alcoholics can die. I don't know if you know what this is. But it's basically, like something in their throat. It's like a varices, which is, like, a vein in their throat or like esophagus ruptures, and it causes them to vomit so much blood that they die, and it kills them really, really quick. Oh, wow. And it happens when you have like cirrhosis of the liver.
Oh shit, yeah.
And it's fucking brutal.
Wow.
It actually happened to a guy on an airplane.
Oh, fun.
Could you imagine being on a fucking airplane with that?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah. I don't know why I told that story. But that would be like the most brutal thing for them to have to witness.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that would be rough. So she passes.
At some point.
Obviously. And they're driving around. They drive around from the RV park and they drive across several state lines. And they end up in Colorado.
At Miguel's.
At Miguel's house.
With Mother God.
With Mother God in her sleeping bag wrapped in Christmas lights.
No, that was like her eyes just...
Yeah, it was really weird. She's just a tiny little thing. Like, she's withered away into nothing. She looks probably like a 3-year-old or something.
Yeah, it's really...
She's very tiny. And so Miguel is like, whoa. She's dead? Like, yo, you guys can't be in my house. Calls the cops. Gets them kicked out of the house.
For trespassing.
And then drains the bank accounts that they had because they were all in his name, remember? $330,000. And then nobody ever saw him again.
Which is the longest con, right? He had been waiting...
Years.
10 years.
Yeah.
I think he started following her in... Well, not 10. Short. Years. Almost a full decade.
Yeah.
And... He in the beginning, when that first father god was like, nah, like, maybe this isn't exactly it, he was like, no, it is. And really pushed her to stay and keep doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So it just pretty much ends like that. And then that takes us back to the beginning where the cops are in there coming in, raiding the house. That's the house that they're at, Miguel's. And they find the corpse and they get arrested, but then their charges are dropped.
Yeah, all charges are dropped.
And I think because they could see, like, nobody actually hurt her. They were trying to comfort her. Like, is it a crime not to take her to the hospital if she wants not to be taken to a hospital?
I think it's a crime to hold a dead body.
It's a crime to hold a dead body, for sure. But I meant, like, the actual, like, while she was dying. I don't think that was a crime. If she doesn't want to go to the hospital and die on her own, like, that's fine, right? I think it was just, they got arrested just because they were taking corpse, driving around with it.
Yeah, and lines. I think it was like also there were some things of like child abuse.
Yeah.
Because Aaron's fucking kids were still there.
Yeah. And dog.
Like, who knows if the dog was still there.
The dog is on video. I saw him a bunch of times.
I saw the cute little kitten. Yeah. There's a cute little gray kitten. Mm-hmm. And so the official autopsy for Mother God is that she died of basically like it's 3 different things. Yeah. It was alcohol abuse, anorexia, and colloidal silver, like over consumption, basically. Yeah. So those were the 3, because that also can cause all of your organs to shut down.
Yeah, she had organ failure.
She was drinking so much of it.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, this is like 4,000 milligrams or something. Jesus and they're just giving her tinctures.
Yeah.
Like 19 tinctures a day.
Yeah.
So much.
And that's bad for you. Don't take that. The FDA pulled it off the shelves like 10 years ago or 20 years ago. And it was like...
Yeah, it's not good for you.
It's not good for you.
Shouldn't do it.
So anyway, she dies, and then it kind of falls apart because there's no Mother God anymore. So everyone's like, what are we supposed to do?
Oh, Jason tried to keep it alive.
Well, he did. He's living with the other dude. They're together. So anyway, Aurora and Hope started their own group, 5D Full Disclosure, which shares many beliefs with Love Has Won. They both live in Florida now, and they offer online spiritual healing sessions and events. Father God, Jason, he and John, the kind of normal guy, live together, and they're doing their own thing. El Moira, this guy, we didn't talk about him much. But he's doing his own thing with like a 5D thing, a website. And
so they're all sort of keeping the same.
They all kept the same thing. And then Erin, she says, it just says she's living with her children, but we don't know where. And we don't know her last name. So, yeah. I guess she took the children back and they're living somewhere else. But that's all we know. And then we see her kids at the end of the episodes too, and they're both doing really well. Her son Cole is currently studying microbiology in Germany, and Maddie, her daughter, recently moved to Colorado and hopes to become a nurse. So
that's all you can ask for.
Yep.
Oh, we didn't talk about what their beliefs really are. Yeah. So, Mother God, you scared me.
No, there's more than one.
Scared me. So she thought that she had been reincarnated like 500 something times.
Oh yeah, completely skipped
because it's so outlandish.
Yes.
To include, here's an example. Some of the people: Jesus, Cleopatra, Joan of Arc, and none other than Marilyn Monroe. So, yeah, like they just...
She's reincarnated, from them, yeah.
She thought she was a 19 billion year old being who birthed all creation.
Like, what?
Huh? Yeah, and so the whole thing was like, by following her, you'll go to this fifth dimension, which is why all the other ones talk about 5D.
5D
is the fifth dimension.
and we're in 3D.
Happy to be here.
Happy to be here. 3D.
And yeah, and they say she's like a queen of the lost continent of Lemuria. And the group incorporated the belief that Lemurians live within Mount Shasta in California. And then they have a lot of like some sort of like QAnon conspiracy theory type stuff, saying that the pandemic was planned, Sandy Hook, 9/11, and the Holocaust were hoaxes. So like you get into that little smattering of the usual suspects when we talk about cults and conspiracy theories.
Sure.
So yeah, that's
pretty much it.
I mean, that's pretty much their belief, though. Is like that's like the whole thing. It's like that's what you're hitching your wagon to.
Yeah,
is that this one fucking lady? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't get it, but there were followers, and they're out there.
And if you have HBO Max, 10 out of 10. Highly recommend.
Yeah,
It is a wild ride.
It is a wild ride. Go watch it.
It's a pretty fun one.
Yeah, it is. Thanks for listening. You can find us on Instagram at
The Murder Mamas,
Facebook,
The M Mamas,
Twitter,
The Murder Mamas,
email,
themurdermamas@gmail.com.
And if you like us and are happy with our content, please leave us a review and a 5-star rating. We would appreciate it. Bye.